That's right. Faster wireless charging has finally come to the iPhone. This is the Belkin UltraCharge Pro, one of the first 25-watt Qi 2.2 devices that supports up to 25-watt wireless charging to your iPhone. And to help the iPhone charge even faster, there's even a built-in cooling mechanism. So I put it to the test, both with cooling on, cooling off. I even tested an older iPhone to see if there was any benefit of the cooling, and we'll see if it finally dethrones my previous favorite 3-in-1, the 12 South HiRise 3 Deluxe. And I also have one big asterisk for that faster charging. When the iPhone 16 was announced last year, Apple said that it would support 25-watt charging, but only with their proprietary MagSafe puck. But since then, that faster wireless charging has now become a standard in Qi 2.2. And remember, Qi 2 and now Qi 2.2 is actually based off Apple's MagSafe technology. You can see it here in this PDF from the Wireless Power Consortium website. And yes, you do pronounce Qi as Qi2. And you can see the progression has been 15-watt charging with Qi2. The proprietary MagSafe that Apple announced with the iPhone 16 is 25 watts. And now Qi2 25-watt, the official branding, allows up to 25 watts even from third-party chargers. And side note, the Pixel 10 Pro XL is also capable of Qi 2.2 or 25 watts, and I got a Pixel 10 Pro to try out, so get subscribed because I'm going to be doing a bunch of MagSafe accessories with the Pixel. And now in the database, you can see lots of devices now certified as Qi 2.2.1, including the Belkin UltraCharge Pro. Belkin also has a 2-in-1 that allows for the faster charging, and you can get a preview of some of the other 25-watt charging devices that are going to be coming out, both from Belkin, but also Anker coming out with a 25-watt version, plus some car chargers from ESR, Baseus, and what I'm most excited about, Qi 25-watt MagSafe batteries. We'll be covering those as soon as I get my hands on them. But let's talk about this, the new UltraCharge Pro. In the box, you actually get a 45-watt power brick, which will bring 25 watts to the iPhone, fast charging for your Apple Watch, and you can charge a third device, either your AirPods or even a second iPhone. And frankly, getting this 45-watt little brick in the box is a pretty great deal. It has one USB-C port, but 45 watts in this small size package with foldable prongs, this is just a nice power brick to have. You can get something similar. I really like the Baseus 45 watts. They're a little smaller, and you can actually get a 2-pack for 20 bucks. Affiliate links to those and everything I'm talking about will be down in the description as well. But overall, the stand is nice. It has a soft touch finish here on the base, and that touches your iPhone here. You'll see this little lip around the MagSafe charger, and that's because there is that cooling fan in the back. More on that in a second. It does have a 90-degree range of motion, so you can have your iPhone straight towards you, or you can make it go all the way up, and that'd be good if you want to place your AirPods on there or another phone. Apple Watch charger doesn't move, and if you like nightstand mode for Apple Watch, this is not going to give it to you, unfortunately. But thankfully, Belkin has now gone back to the USB-C port as the input. No proprietary connector here, so thumbs up on that. And you also see this switch here to turn off and turn on the cooling for the phone charger specifically. This is more important than I realized, and I quickly understood why all of these 25-watt wireless chargers have some kind of cooling feature. More on that in a second. Now, you do need a 45-watt brick to use this for charging. I tried with less powered bricks like 30 watts, and sometimes my phone wouldn't even start charging. You could put your AirPods here, and unfortunately, there's no magnet to align the AirPods to the charger, so you do have to place it properly. And there is a light here on the bottom to let you know that the AirPods are actually charging. If you're going to use this as a nightstand, you might not appreciate that light and might want to cover it with something. And unfortunately, you can't position the AirPods to cover that light and actually still charge them. Like I mentioned before, it will fast charge the Apple Watch, and then of course, your phone goes here. To take advantage of the faster 25-watt wireless charging, you do need to be on iOS 26, and so I'm running the beta now on my main device. And after some testing, I can tell you the 25-watt speed is noticeable. Now keep in mind, the fastest way to charge your iPhone will always be with a physical cable, but the iPhone 16 maxes out at about 30-watt charging over a cable. There were rumors that it was capable of 45-watt charging over a cable, but Charger Lab did a bunch of tests and confirmed at peak it sometimes drew 37 watts, but nowhere near 45, and typically you'll get 30 watts over a cable. That means with legitimate 25-watt wireless charging, it is almost on par as connecting a cable to your phone. But how did the charging tests actually go? So I'm on iOS 26 Beta 8, which is pretty near release. Battery life overall has been okay for what it's worth. But I tested with my iPhone 16 Pro Max, both with cooling on, cooling off, tested an iPhone 14, and then tested my older HiRise 3 Deluxe from 12 South. Clean energy charging was off, but I did keep the screen on. So overall charging speeds will generally be faster than what I'm showing here. And this is really worst case scenario, screen on while you're charging. but that means this is probably the slowest you'll get. Now, on the box, Belkin claims that you can go from 0 to 50% in 25 minutes with this new UltraCharge Pro. And when I tested, I drained my iPhone all the way down to 1%. With cooling on, it went from 1% to 50% in 35 minutes. And that was with the screen on the entire time, so you can see the percentage increasing. That's really impressive, and if you had the screen off, I think it would well make that 50% charge in those 30 minutes, no problem. I let it continue charging, and it got to 80% in about 70 minutes. Remember, charging is always fastest when the battery is most drained, and then it slows down over time. Now, just for fun, I tested it with an older iPhone 14 because I wondered if the cooling would help even those older phones that don't have 25-watt Qi 2.2 actually charge faster. Turns out they did well too. The iPhone 14 with cooling on went from 1% to 50% in just about 50 minutes. And again, this is using the regular 15-watt MagSafe charging, so pretty good speeds, so that cooling even helps older phones. But remember, to get the full 25-watt speeds, you'll need an iPhone 16 or newer. Presumably the 17 will also have the 25-watt charging, and you need to be on iOS 26. Then I ran an experiment back to my iPhone 16 Pro Max, which a 16 Pro would probably charge faster as well, smaller battery, but I turned the cooling off. And this is where things get a little hairy. With that cooling off, charging was much slower. It only went from 1 to 21% in about an hour. Now, the screen was on the whole time. If I had turned that off, it would have charged faster, but the screen was on for the previous test where it went to 50% in 35 minutes. So clearly that cooling is doing a lot of work to help the charging go faster. Now, there are some new settings in iOS 26 for battery. Things like optimized battery charging is still there, where you can cap it out at like 80, 85% or whatever you'd like. Clean energy charging, which I had disabled, but also the different power modes. I kept these off, but adaptive power will affect your iPhone performance to help save battery life. It will not make it keep charging even when the phone gets hot. And that is the biggest challenge when it comes to any kind of wireless charging: heat. When the iPhone gets too hot, it's straight up just going to stop charging. And I've hit that a lot, especially when I'm testing MagSafe battery packs. And the same is true for these MagSafe stands. If the phone gets too hot, it's going to slow down charging. And that's exactly what I experienced with the new Belkin when the cooling was off. And interestingly, on all these newer devices that have the 25-watt charging, there is some kind of cooling mechanism. The chill boost is in their foldable 3-in-1, which you can also get. Upcoming car chargers that are going to have the 25-watt will also have some kind of cooling feature. But as far as I can tell, the MagSafe batteries won't. So again, very curious how these will perform on charging. Finally, I tested the iPhone 16 Pro Max on my old 12 South HiRise 3 Deluxe, and that also went to about 1 to 20% in 40 minutes. So strangely, it actually charged a little faster on my 12 South older that only has 15-watt charging than it did on the newer Belkin without cooling. So like I mentioned, that cooling seems to do some heavy lifting. And here's the one big asterisk. That cooling is not silent. When you attach your phone to charge and you have that cooling enabled, wait like 10 to 20 seconds and that fan definitely spins up. You don't really feel a lot coming out the back. Obviously it's doing work because of that charging speed, but it is audible. I just heard it kick on. You might not hear it right now, but here's what the fan sounds like by itself. And especially when your iPhone is at lower battery percentages and it's trying to charge fast, that fan seems to kick into a higher gear, which is louder. I'm going to move it closer to the mic and you'll hear it again. Now, if this is a sign of things to come, it seems like the faster 25-watt charging is going to require some kind of cooling mechanism, and depending on how these chargers work, that cooling mechanism is not silent. Now, I've seen a couple videos on this. Some people said they didn't hear the fan or it didn't bother them. I can definitely hear the fan. I would not record a video with this thing charging my phone because I think you would hear it in the video. But also, I would not have cooling enabled if I were using this as a nightstand and I was going to sleep. I don't want to hear that fan when I'm falling asleep. So it seems like right now, at least with this particular charger, to take full advantage of that faster charging speed, you need to hear a fan. I don't know about that. Now, before my final thoughts, the new Belkin UltraCharge is $130. Again, comes with that 45-watt brick, a nice 5-foot USB-C cable, and you can get it in charcoal or sand. You can also get this folding style 3-in-1. Also comes with the 45-watt brick, comes in 3 colors, black, blue, and white. And just for reference, my HiRise 3 Deluxe is $100, also with a $10 coupon, at least right now. So will the new, faster 25-watt wireless charging dethrone my previous HiRise 3 Deluxe? No. And that's because there are 2 places where I'm going to use chargers like these. One, on my nightstand. There, I don't want my charger making any sounds. I'm likely charging overnight, so speed doesn't necessarily matter, and I don't know what it is, but I just like the design of this HiRise 3 Deluxe. It keeps the watch in nightstand mode, it elevates the phone a little higher than chargers like this one, and it's still pretty sleek. Now, I don't typically have to charge my iPhone while I'm sitting here at my desk, and if I do, the faster charging is nice, but I also got this new fancy Get 4 USB-C cable, retractable 40-watt charger right here on my desk, and it's just as easy to plug in a cable to my phone while I'm at my desk than using a wireless charger. But if fast wireless charging is for you, maybe you're looking for something for your desk, or you just are not bothered by the fan noise, this is a great charger. It definitely charges faster than older models, takes advantage of that 25-watt Qi 2.2. It is heavier than things like the HiRise 3 Deluxe, so if you want something that is very sturdy and won't move around, the UltraCharge Pro is that. I know on social media I had people asking about taking your phone off. If you try to pull it just straight off, it's going to move the charger. So you do need to have kind of that peel motion to make sure the charger stays in place, which is also true of the HiRise 3 Deluxe, which is even lighter. It does have a smaller footprint if that's important to you, and can still charge all 3 devices at all the full speeds. And I do really like the USB-C connector rather than the proprietary barrel, which unfortunately the HiRise 3 Deluxe does have. But either way, I'm excited for this new wave of faster wireless charging, and I'm also excited for the Pixel 10 Pro because I'm about to try all my MagSafe gear with an Android phone. I don't know, I'm pretty excited about it. So get subscribed because that video is coming soon. If you have any more questions, let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button, and there's also a hype button now apparently, so yeah, would appreciate a hype. And if you don't know, I have a tech podcast, Primary Technology, new episodes every Thursday. You can watch it right here on YouTube. I'll link it above there. And if you're gonna try the iOS 26 beta, I did a video on 100 plus new features in the new iOS. I'm gonna be doing more once it actually comes out to the public. But if you're on the beta, check out my video here and see everything new. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.